The southernmost state of India is best known for its splendid temples and spectacular architectural edifices. It is also famous for its magnificent art and culture that is manifested in its various paintings, woodcrafts, and sculptures that showcase the excellent artistic skills of its people. However, there is a section of this society that is being neglected and utterly disregarded. They are the people with disabilities, and those affected by leprosy are forced to live an even more unfortunate life. They not only face widespread social stigma, but are often abandoned and ostracized by their own communities. Many a times they lose access to their means of employment. The story of Jyoti Lakshmi is a fitting case. Her troubles began at the age of 18 when she noticed pale-colored patches on her skin. It was the onset of leprosy. By age 35, she had turned into a person with disability. The stigma attached to this illness led her siblings to sell their family house and part ways, throwing Jyoti and her aged mother out on the streets. For over 6 years, they had been taking shelter at an abandoned bus stop and somehow surviving on the scanty disability pension Jyoti was receiving from the state government. The only thing she aspired for was to have a life that was a bit meaningful and respected. Similar is the story of Amuda Gopal, the 27-year-old polio-affected girl living a terrible life because of her disability. Since childhood, she was made to feel an outcast and was unwanted. Despite social rejections, she continued to struggle, as she had to take care of her aged and ailing parents. Her brothers deserted them, considering them as burden. Amuda somehow managed to make a living utilizing her amateur tailoring skills. As both Jyoti Lakshmi and Amuda were struggling to come out of the clutches of their respective miseries, they saw a ray of hope. A hope to live their lives with dignity through a project called CRAFT, initiated by the Leprosy Mission Trust India. Started in 2009 in Cuddalore district, the project aimed at enhancing the skills of artisans with disabilities and to help them achieve sustainable livelihood and social inclusion through fair trade.
Well, looking at the social implications of leprosy, we also find that there is an impact on the livelihoods of a person who has leprosy, who's been ostracized from the community. Therefore, many people with skills, even though they have skills, they are neglected or they are ostracized so that they are unable to earn their livelihood. So this project actually started looking at how do we enable people with skills to help themselves have some livelihood options. So the project started addressing these issues and taking them forward.
The project is launched in 2009 and the team was established. A benchmark survey was conducted in hazarded artisanal communities, where the major issues were identified during the benchmark survey, following which the project team has developed an interview schedule and pre-tested and applied to 321 individual households who were artisan with disabilities, and the skills were assessed and the needs were identified and the data were documented and kept for further use.
After their gaps and needs were assessed, the artisans were provided with different types of skill-building trainings, such as woodcraft designing and production, mat and handloom weaving, textile designing and tailoring, pottery and ceramics designing, paper mache, and basketry making, among others. The project has not only focused on improving the artisans' skill sets and helped them becoming self-sufficient, it also encouraged them to set up producers' units so that their livelihood means would become more sustainable. 8 such producers' groups have been formed in the first phase of the project. One among them is the Carpentry Producers Unit in Cuddalore. The unit was set up by an artisan with disability called Pagazendi. Pagazendi was one of 6 such artisans who were provided training through a professional agency on various wood product designing and development procedures.
நான் வந்து அதுக்கு முன்னாடி எனக்கு வேலை தெரியாது, ஏதோ லேபர் கூலி வேலைக்கு போயிட்டுருப்பேன். ஆனால் இடையில வந்து டிஎல்எம் கிராஃப்ட் ப்ராஜெக்ட்லேருந்து வந்து சில அதிகாரிகள் பார்த்து எனக்கு வந்து சில ட்ரைனிங்லாம் கொடுத்தாங்க. சேர்த்து போட்டு ட்ரைனிங் அனுப்பிச்சி விட்றாங்க. மற்ற இடத்துல ட்ரைனிங் போயிருக்கேன், வேலை கற்றுக்கிட்டேன். வேலை கற்றுட்டு பிற்பாடு வந்து இப்போ வந்து இந்த சில மிஷின்லாம் வாங்கி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அந்த மிஷின் ஆப்ரேட் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இப்போ வந்து என்ன இந்த கடை சொந்தமாக, அந்த கார்பெண்டர் கடை சொந்தமாக வச்சுட்டு இதில் வந்து நாங்கள் 10 வருஷம் சம்பாதிக்கிறோம். இப்போ எனக்கு கீழே வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 6 பேர் வேலை செய்கிறாங்க. அந்த 6 பேரும் சேர்ந்து நானும் சேர்ந்து எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து வேலை செய்கிறோம்.
The team was also encouraged to develop a wide range of wooden products such as tea lights, photo frames and containers. Jyoti Lakshmi is also part of this producers unit and she feels very proud to be associated with the project.
இந்த டிஎல்எம் ஆஃபீஸு ப்ராஜெக்டில் வந்து இதில் வந்து மாதம் 1700 கொடுக்குறாங்க. இது அந்த ஆஃபீஸில் வந்ததுனால எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் எதுவாக இருக்குது. மாதம் 1700 தராங்க. அதை வச்சு வருமானத்துக்கு கொஞ்சம் வழி பார்த்துருக்குறேன். கொஞ்சம் நல்லா இருக்கிறேன் அதை வச்சுன்னு. இன்றைக்கிட இப்போ கொஞ்சம் ஓரளவு பரவாயில்ல. இங்கே ஆஃபீஸுக்கு வந்து வேலை செய்யறதுனால ஒரு வருமானத்துக்கு எனக்கு ஒரு வழியாக இருக்குது.
Amudha, who received tailoring training under the project, is also pleased with the new turn in her life. The craft project has also worked hard on strengthening the linkages with various establishments and agencies to help the producers groups procure quality raw materials on reasonable prices and systematically supply their produce to marketing ventures to gain viable profit. The bead jewelry making community is a case in point. Known as Nari Kurovars, these indigenous tribes were largely dependent on hunting and collecting forest products. As hunting has now been prohibited, they are forced to take up alternative trades for their living. And at present, bead jewelry making is one of their major sources of livelihood. However, the trade requires them to migrate from place to place to find a market for their ornaments. Children also accompany the adults wherever they go, which means they never get the chance to attend school. Cuddalore district houses 13 such gypsy communities, but never any attempt was made to understand the hardships they face in their daily lives. For the first time, under the craft project, a survey was conducted to assess their problems and support their needs in order to make their livelihood sustainable. Similarly, in Kurinjipadi block, the project team identified a group of handloom weaving families that lacked skills required to increase their production and sales. Those families were provided with professional trainings on new materials, designs and color combinations.
நாங்கள் புதுசாக இவங்க வந்து நிர்வாணத்துலேருந்து வந்து எங்களுக்கு நூல் பாவு எல்லாம் வெளியிலேருந்து வாங்கின்னு வந்து கொடுத்தாங்க. சாயம் போட்டு கொடுத்தாங்க. அங்கே அச்சு கட்டிக்கிட்டேருந்து பாய்கிட்ட அச்சு கட்டி கொண்டாந்து கொடுத்தாங்க. வெளி ஈரோடு சேலத்துலேருந்துலாம் கூட நூல் பாவு வாங்கியாந்து கொடுத்தாங்க. புது விதமாக ட்ரெஸ்ஸு டிசைன் கொடுத்து டெல்லியிலேருந்து வந்தவங்க புது டிசைன் கொடுத்து நெச்சு நாங்கள் துணியாக ஆக்கி கொடுத்தோம். அவங்க வருமானம் கொஞ்சம் கூடுதலாகவே கொடுத்தாங்க.
Other artisans who had already received training on tailoring also joined hands with them, and together they started a producers group. Today, they are all happy as their incomes have doubled. Another group of artisans engaged in producing handicraft items using locally available fiber were struggling to catch up with the market needs. They were identified and provided with technical and designing trainings that enable them to produce decorative items having greater market demand. Murugan, a polio-affected artisan, is currently leading a suppliers group with his enhanced skills of creating beautiful steel structures. Pachamuthu from Tolodu village is another beneficiary of the craft project. He improved his skills and set up a screen printing unit, employing 7 more persons affected by leprosy and other disabilities. Impressed by his enthusiasm, the project also supported him to get a place on rent to start his own business unit. In the first phase of the project, the Leprosy Mission Trust India has been able to erase the feelings of hopelessness for about 300 disabled artisans. They were given handhold support to transform themselves from being dependent to self-sufficient and create livelihood opportunities for others as well. However, the project has come across certain challenges in the course of its implementation. These challenges warrant that the approach should be changed from the NGO business logic model to a not-for-profit company model. The project has now envisaged a larger livelihood project called SOAR, securing opportunities towards advancing revenue.
The 300 odd people who were supported through crafts projects have actually been put together into producer groups. Now, if we want the sustainability of those project groups, we need an apex body who can continuously look at their marketing needs, their training needs. So the next step in the craft project is to actually put together a company, a producer company, which looks into all the trades pertaining to the vulnerable groups in the district of Cuddalore. We have around 5,000 odd people affected by leprosy, disability, and women marginalized due to poverty or their gender. They will be trained in various livelihood options and would then get together under the umbrella of a producer company so that they have a sustained livelihood source and are able to improve their quality of life over the next 5 years.
This ambitious project, which will be implemented in 3 districts, Cuddalore, Thiruvannamalai and Villupuram, by the end of 2018, will promote all the producers groups affiliated with it. While setting up an institution and a viable business model may take time, it is time to focus on best practices and work on the lessons learned.
The project has definitely brought about a difference. People being able to explore and to be able to speak and to be able to look at a livelihood option, and these changes, in order to be sustained, still require a tremendous amount of insight and hand-holding for it not to fade away, and definitely it needs some more time for people to be more organized and to be able to take these initiatives forward.
People living with disability are the individuals with barriers that are not just physical. Attitudes based on prejudice or stereotypes also disable them from having equal opportunities in society. But if these barriers are removed, they can become independent and have control over their own lives. Indeed, they need a chance more than charity. And with projects like CRAFT, the Leprosy Mission Trust India is not just trying to provide them a chance, but also to enable them to have a decent and meaningful life. This is just the beginning. A lot more needs to be done.